Am Port here on Metropolitan Television. I Am Port is proudly brought to you in association with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance, and the Integrated Customs Management Systems, ICOMS. The program will also be aired, that's the abridged version, on Ghana Television on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Remember, we are also streaming live on our social media handles at Ion Port Ghana on YouTube and Facebook. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. Now, if you want to know all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab a copy of the BNFT, that Thursday edition, and you read all that transpired here on the show tonight. Remember, along the line, we would activate our phone lines for you to get interactive with us. You call in, and my guests will be glad to answer your questions and whatever bothers your mind. You can also get interactive with us via our WhatsApp line, and the number to call or to send your message to is 0559 017 0559 019 177 0559 019 177. We'll be glad to read your messages to the rest of the world. My name is Kennedy Mona. We'll be back right after this break. Stick and stay.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
In the maritime and port industry in the course of the week. And one that took place that we are going to show you tonight is the launch of a surveillance, control, and monitoring system to deal with illegal fishing. Let's take a look at that story.
The Fisheries Committee for the West Central Gulf of Guinea has launched the Regional Monitoring, Control and Surveillance Center in Tema. The facility is to address major challenges in combating illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing in the West African sub-region through enhanced regional cooperation. Speaking at the launch, the Minister for Fisheries, Mavis Awakumsin, lamented the incidence of illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, which she said has a negative impact on fisheries resources and the loss of revenue to the country, estimated at millions of US dollars.
This loss of revenue could be used to improve the livelihoods of coastal communities and reduce poverty. I have been briefed that IUU fishing is on the rise in the West African sub-region due to the economic benefit gained by those involved in the act. I have also been briefed that no single country can combat IUU fishing. The launch of the RMCSC has therefore come at the opportune time. Now is the time for us to collectively tackle the menace of IUU fishing.
She entreated member states of the Fisheries Committee for the West Central Gulf of Guinea to show more commitment to the fight against illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, revealing that the government of Ghana has initiated the process to procure 4 patrol vessels and the research vessel to help combat the illegal act. The EU ambassador to Ghana, Her Excellency Diana Konsia, said better fisheries management could increase the global catch by 20%. She said the EU is firmly committed to eradicating illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing around the world and is taking a strong and structured action towards that.
Fighting EU fishing is part of the European Union action under the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It is the EU's contribution to Goal 14, Life Below Water of the SDG, for a better ocean governance, including the development of sustainable fisheries and blue economy.
So that was some activity that took place in the port and maritime industry in the course of the week. Now, along the line, we shall come your way with the international news. But for now, we'll go for the Goil TV market. And remember, the Goil TV market is all about showcasing the services and products of one of our lead sponsors, Goil Company Limited. And I've always told you that premium is placed on the Goil Super XP Ron 95. Goil, they say, good energy. This week's edition of the program is coming to you from the Doenya service station. Enjoy.
Goil, in the service of the nation.
Presently, we are at Doenya Goil service station, which happens to be one of the biggest stations in Goil. Goil fuel are the best. Our Super XP Ron 95, which is the latest strong fuel that will never destroy the engines of your car, and our Diesel XP, and then our strong lubricant that power car servicing, changing of oils and all that. So I will entreat each one of you, if you are traveling on this stretch, this particular Goil filling station, which is Doenya, we have several services here, so you can attest that our fuels are the best. You go to La Pleku, go to Adakase, go to Adafo, and to Aplau, our fuels are superb. Goil, good energy, that comes with a smile.
Oh, Vanya, a lap, fuel lap, 80, new fuel keke, ena, SSA, yet tongue, and auto edugu cable. You need to buy the fuel that meets your car or the standard that is set up. Fuel near the collab near Koyashimua, and what's a year ampa, and you're within the spec, and Sani and Macquine said for filling station ho, never kugu cable. Near the cost station, we don't leave the station to sell it just like that. We go to them and test the product and check whether they are still selling what we gave to them. It's even no some fashion no. If they call the product no, near I check say a product papa na yefa within specification. It's equal your mama at the phone, your mama and my papa.
So we use it for papa. We need problem with injectors. But low grade and mid grade fuel in our market in the snow. Run 91 and run 85 from the idea no. And nunti and obi to me clinical so my injectors are say make us sano, and I'm injectors. I say, make us to injector cleaner. Go say, and who here say who will to injector cleaner? Just buy Diesel XP, Super XP Ron 95, and it comes with all these benefits. XP3 no room no, a cleaning injectors. Yang get on Ron 95. The Ron 95 on the say what the car no corner, or bugu mao. Na many other miss some. Adebakwa, as someone will say, suppose no talk if for la on talk in here. Sabi, see a casa ya they are. I just say, Sika Ibiano, Eja, etic mamu here. Oh, but you can say, oh, me for 95 vinyabi. Girl, Yanni stations at Dosu Ghana Hapa, baby, I'm a Fabia girl. Over 400 stations. And just a bit more, and Krahankwan or Bua, Okosuyana Uno, baby, girl, oh, Ghana ha. And for a ton Hano, and one a ton of Sunyani, and one a ton Takradi, around 95.
Yeah, go cardi, go stations in Quape, and I bet me use your card. Want to me use your baby beam. And to say, bank card, I bet me use your ATM machine. Now I say use your POS machine. So, they are not bet me use your go stations. And go stations be a country, no, your POS, until let me use your card, no, or your stations, Nina.
I've been using Goil fuel about 9 years now. I'm a taxi driver. I think it's the quality fuel that I use always. I can experience how the car pick quick. I'll advise my friends to always buy product from Goil.
So for the past 1 year, I've been using Goil and it's been good. I mean, the mileage and stuff, better than the ones I was using before. And again, their services are good.
Okay, I've used Goil almost about 3 years now. I don't normally get problem with the car, like the pump and everything is intact. Everything is really good, very good.
After last 2 years, I'm starting to use Goil fuel. Some use before and call Avensu. A check what me can. It's a man say me can't be soon so I reject it.
I'm at Doenya Goil Free Station, and now I encourage my colleague drivers to come here and buy fuel. Everything about Goil is perfect.
East and West, we always stand for the best.
So that was the Goil TV market showcasing the products and services of one of our lead sponsors, Goil Company Limited. And remember, this week's edition came to you from the Doenya service station. Now, tonight we're taking a look at insurance. Remember, a fortnight ago, we came your way with a topic on insurance and how prepared the local insurance industry was to, maximize the profits in terms of imports and exports, and why it was important for us to have traders or importers and exporters have their goods insured here in the country. And we brought you some guests from Serene Insurance, and they told us they were really capable of dealing with whatever insurance claim that may come. And they were explicit when they stated that if the deal comes and it's so huge, they rope in other insurance companies, they share it by percentages, and then they are able to deal with that and meet that demand. Tonight we have some guests from the National Insurance Commission, and they are talking to us about the Marine Cargo Protocol and what it is all about. I know some time ago this issue came up, and there was a lot of brouhaha. Some industry stakeholders were not happy with it, and so we would want to find out from the NIC what they have done so far, whether they have met these stakeholders, whether they have told them what the nuances and intricacies involved in this whole project is, and all that. And so let me go straight away and introduce my guests in the studios. We have to my left, Madame Mercy Na Koshi Buampong. She is a member of the Technical Committee on Marine Insurance. And to my right is Mr. Charles Ansong Denchi, who is Senior Manager at the Supervision Department at the National Insurance Commission. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Iron Port.
Thank you, Ken.
First of all, let's start with the basics. I would want to begin with you, Madam. What is marine insurance?
Okay, so marine insurance is insurance to cover the things we carry or we transport on the seas, rivers, lakes. So you have the ship, you have the yacht, you have the boat, you have the canoes. These are properties which are on everyday, as part of their everyday activities, are on the seas, on water, on canals, on rivers. So the interest, if you take insurance, you are protecting these movable assets against the perils of the sea and perils on the sea.
Right.
In addition to ensuring or protecting damage or loss to these assets, the ship or the yacht or whichever vessel it is, you also have the opportunity to insure any cargo or goods they carry, which may belong to other parties who have hired the ship to transport those goods from one destination to the other for on hire and reward basis. You also have the opportunity to also insure machinery on the ship. There are things that the ship, the team, the captain and the crew of the ship will use. We call it ship stores. You also have the opportunity to insure. There is also the potential for liability to arise. The ship owner is carrying other people's goods, and he has charged them or contracted to carry them from one port to the other. That's port of dispatch to another port of destination. The obligation of the ship owner or the carrier is to carry these goods the same way they have been packed, in the same quantity, and deliver them to the final owner at its destination. Now, if something happens by way of the full quantity not being delivered, by way of anyone through loss, or by way of any damage, which could be fire on board whilst the items are in the custody and control of the carrier whilst in transit, the obligation is on the ship owner or the carrier to make good the losses that may have been suffered by those persons. So that is the liability. That is also insured. The ship owners or the carrier's liability is also insured. So insurance, marine insurance, is more of the peace of mind given to anybody involved in the marine trade. Either the person owns a vessel or the person buys goods and transports them from one place to the other, or the person does other things. You could have the stevedoring company, which does the loading and offloading. There are liabilities attached that could arise during the loading and offloading. Those liabilities are all covered under the marine insurance. So it depends on who is taking it. If you are only a trader, an importer, you only take the cargo aspect. If you are a ship owner, you will take the one covering the protecting the vessel. You take some aspect of cover to cover your liability towards ship owners. And you could also run into, we hear of ships colliding with other ships. So collision liability, who is at fault? Whoever is at fault must make good the damage caused to the other ship owner. Ship owner's vessel. And that liability can also be taken. And just recently, I think in March, we heard about the
Suez Canal?
Evergreen. Evergiven, sorry. The Evergiven, the vehicle got stranded in the Suez Canal. And we know what caused, came out of that. So there's liability arising, the ports authority, liability to the port authorities, liability to other ships which could not pass through the canal and had to suffer delay. There may have been cargoes which would get damaged because of the delay. And then even the cost of getting the vessel afloat, they will all be borne by marine insurance.
Now, you just mentioned that, and I'm very curious, about this banter or this beef between owners of the vessel and then the Suez Canal, executives, and they are demanding some $900 million plus, dollars in compensation. What do you make of that?
So the insurers will come in. And then they will determine the liability. So the Suez Canal has put in a claim. They are making a claim. They are saying that because of your blockage of the canal, this is the cost we have incurred. It's more of loss of revenue. So they have put in the claim. The owners of Evergiven will present that claim to their insurers. And all the insurers will come in. So if they may have a broker, an intermediary, who is there to speak to protect their interests. So through that, they will present the claim made by the Suez Canal authorities to the insurers, and the insurers will look at the terms of the policy issued to Ever Given,
right,
and determine the liability and assess the liability. But a loss adjuster may be appointed to actually assess and adjust the claim the port authorities are demanding. They will engage them and let them know that this one, I don't think it is something that you should charge it to Ever Given.
Okay.
And so we'll take it out. Or this one, we want to reduce it.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, subject to the terms, conditions, and exclusions of the marine insurance cover issued either by the Professional Indemnity Club, which is a pool by ship owners, or the main underwriters of the hull, the vessel itself, and all the liabilities associated with it. They will determine the quantum of loss to be to be paid, or the quantum of claim to be paid, and it will be settled.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me come to you, Mr. Denchi. I know that the National Insurance Commission has come up with the Marine Cargo Insurance Protocol. And I know that the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Ghana Shippers Authority, and the NIC, and as yourselves, have signed, some document with respect to this. Before we zoom into that proper, tell us what is the current situation before you thought of coming up with this particular document.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken. But we realized that this had been in the law, but its enforcement was really lacking. But then we had a situation where the Ghana Shippers Authority came out with issues pertaining to the shippers community, where they suffer some loss one way or the other, and they didn't have any form of compensation. Again, the Ghana Revenue Authority also had issues even in computing the insurance pertaining to the imports into the country. And they ended up doing some form of loading to imports into the country. But then the insurance industry had these section, that's section 37(1)(c), that all imports into the country should have a local insurance. So the issues and the needs that Ghana Shippers Authority had, also with the Ghana Revenue Authority, is being addressed in the Section 37 of the Insurance Act. So this actually led to the signing of the Marine Cargo Insurance Protocol in December 2020. That makes it mandatory that before, when you import into the country, before you can clear your goods, you should have a local marine insurance to allow you to clear your goods.
Right. So what is the current situation? I know that there were some agitations by some sections of the business community. DETER, for instance, their president has been quite vocal in resisting this particular, document, this particular protocol. Now that you have signed it, have you gone back to sit with them, to impress upon them, to tell them what the nuances and intricacies are as far as this particular document is concerned?
Yes, I would say yes. In fact, besides the trade union, that's the DETER, and the other shippers community, we've been having stakeholders engagement and sensitization about this local insurance, and even the benefits that accrue to the policyholders, that's the shippers community. And it's something that is continuous. And we've engaged, besides DETER, other relevant stakeholders who have a say in the marine cargo insurance to educate them about this local insurance. So it's something that we've done, and we've kept doing even to the other stakeholders. We've done even in Kumasi, in Takrady, in Cape Coast. Mercy even spearheaded some of these. Even by this week, we'll be having one even on this Tuesday So it's something that is continuous. We need to do that so as to sensitize them and to let them know the benefits of to have this local insurance, the language barriers, the claims management and assessment, the ratings. We are even rating far better than what pertains outside the country. And the essence of taking marine insurance is that one day when there is a claim, insurers will respond to this. And insurers have the capacity, even with the reinsurance arrangement that they have in place, to respond to claims as they arise. We have underwriters, risk assessors, and they look at all these processes, even in terms of rating, to make it much better, and even give Ghana Revenue for them to know that these insurance that have been taken, when they are computing their CIF, they know the right insurance component in the CIF rather than doing a loading.
That's cost insurance and
cost insurance and freight on all imports and even exports into the country.
All right, so let me come to you, Madam Buampong. I know, just like I mentioned during my intro, we had some officials from Serene Insurance come in the studio a fortnight ago, and then we had the DETER president call in to the show, and they have a feeling that the local insurance market, they don't have the muscle financially to be able to, do things as far as marine cargo is concerned, because they think that is capital intensive. And so theirs is that they lack the capacity. They have not tailored, their products to suit them. They don't make it friendly, so rigid and all that. And so it's just unattractive. You have been interacting with them, and like he said, you led the charge to some of the regions where you held stakeholder engagements. What's the situation?
Thank you very much. I didn't even thank your viewers and listeners before I went straight into my first question. Thank you. The issue of capacity, it's never been an issue. The insurance industry does not have issues with capacity, not for any classes of business, let alone marine insurance.
Right.
Now, marine insurance capacity, we have excess capacity. What happens is every year, the NIC collates from all insurance companies what proportion of their assets they are using to back certain classes of business. And for this year, 2021, which was collated and circulated within the industry by the NIC in January 21st January 2021, the total market capacity for marine per risk is 300 million Ghana cedis. Per risk means you can come into us with a certain value of marine cargo or even vessel. And saying that this is the value. For any one insurance that the industry can insure up to 300 million, that's $50 million per risk. Wow. That is local capacity. This is retained locally. We don't even offload or cede any to the international reinsurance market. So the local insurance company and the local reinsurance company, domiciled and registered and operating in Ghana, have a capacity for marine per risk of 300 million. So we do not have issues with capacity when it comes to the financial. When it comes to the technical, we have experts in that field. Traditionally, insurance has been written, insurance companies have departmentalized by the class of business. So there's always a dedicated department for marine when it comes to marine underwriting and claims. And they have the expertise. They are actually hungry for the experience to get the marine cargo in the large numbers. And currently, we are operating under capacity because we have had our minimum capital increased from 15 million to 50 million. So we don't have issues about capacity. And this is local capacity. We have excess capacity, very huge capacity overseas. All the reinsurance companies within Africa are available to us. The reinsurance markets on Lloyd's are available to international reinsurance markets are available to the Ghanaian markets. So there is no issue of capacity. We have the capacity in terms of finance, and we have the capacity in terms of technical. The technical know-how we do. We have it.
Yeah. Right. Now, I think from the NIC's own figures, we're told that only 6% of importers insure their goods locally.
Yep.
75% seem to be, ignorant about it. What are you doing because this is a very huge gap, what are you doing to ensure that you bring them up to speed with the times in which we are and why it is important that they take interest in insuring their goods locally?
Okay. So it's education. And this is one of the programs we are using to educate people that you need to insure. We are highlighting the benefits of insurance. You have invested so much. You must have. We want investors and importers to know that when you buy insurance, what you have bought is actually peace of mind. You don't have to worry about whether your goods will arrive damaged or whether your goods will even arrive. Because even if they don't arrive, there's insurance to cover it. We are asking you, even when you have bought, we are also educating that even when you have bought the goods on CIF, you don't have full cover. Internationally, the CIF only mandates the supplier to buy the minimum cover of marine. And the minimum marine cover is the Institute Cargo Clause C. The Institute Cargo Clause C doesn't cover volcanic eruption, earthquake. It doesn't cover entry of seawater into your goods. I mean, seawater, river water, lake water, causing damage to their goods. It doesn't cover washing overboard. It doesn't cover total loss during loading and offloading. Okay. So you may think that you have...
Does it also include force majeure?
The force majeure, that's acts of God.
Act of God,
yes, they are covered. Okay. So some of them are covered, some of them are not covered. And there's also an extent to which they are covered. But when you...
when you mention volcanic eruptions and all that...
Earthquake,
in another
yes.
sense,
Earthquake is also not covered.
Yeah.
Earthquake is not covered. But strong weather will be covered under a Clause C. Okay. So what we are saying is that the supplier has brought you the goods and told you that it's CIF, but you really do not have cover. You might also think that the shipper or the carrier will be liable if something happens. It is his liability. But the international laws limit their liability, because they can't carry the full liability. So there's a duty on you, the importer, to also mitigate your loss by taking local and proper insurance. Yeah. So we are educating that please do not rely on CIF. Even if it's CIF, you don't know the insurer. There are issues of language barriers. There are inadequacy of the cover, like I'm talking about, I've just mentioned. But you don't. When you take a local insurance, you are protected. It secures you. There's proper protection. Right. It's like disaster recovery plan, DRP, for the shipper or for the importer. You know that you have a business. It's business. There's business continuity because an insurance policy will kick in when the unfortunate incident occurs, and you'll be able to continue your business. So it's all about education. It's all about engagement. Engaging them when we've had this broad level engagement. We now need to do the individual, smaller group engagement, and that's what we've started doing since late last year. The discussions we've had earlier discussions with DETER during at a forum provided by the Shippers Authority. We've met the freight forwarders and some other groups in Takrady. We've met another team, shippers of members, also in Cape Coast. So when you meet them in smaller groups and you educate and you explain to them and they ask their questions and you clarify their issues for them, they then understand the benefit for them to take a local insurance company. Indeed, the regulator is not only there for the insurance. In fact, the regulator is there to protect the interests of the insuring public. And what's better protection or assurance do you have when you have direct access to the regulator?
Right. So let me come to you, Mr. Denchi. Let's deal with the local insurance industry vis-a-vis import and export. How should Ghanaian companies, the local insurance industry, position itself to benefit from the huge investments that goes around in the import and export sector?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like we rightly said from the beginning, we spoke about capacity. The local insurance companies are really poised for business in the marine cargo sector. And they have the capacity, like Mercy rightly said, each insurance company can write up to about 300 million Ghana cedis, that's $50 million per risk. And anything in excess of that, they have to place reinsurances on that.
Yeah.
So they really have the capacity to underwrite huge risks through their appetite and then also through reinsurance. They also have the technical capacity of underwriters, surveyors, professionals to handle marine insurances. The other thing that we are still doing, which Mercy have said, is stakeholder engagement. And by so doing, we'll be able to bring all the shipper communities on board and to let them know the benefits of having local insurance, the peace of mind, the kind of risks that the insurers take, and also the suppliers who even supply their goods through these importers will make sure that the monies that they put into their imports will not go lost when local insurance has been taken. Because one of the key things that the insurers through the NIC is doing to make sure that claims are handled to the best of the policyholder. Right. In other words, they will make the claim processing very simple, through notification to final settlement, to realize the monies or investments that have been put into the marine cargo sector. So there is capacity, there is technical know-how, and there is also sensitization. And again, there is this insurance database that has been set up to coordinate marine insurance that had been underwritten, and there is a link that the portal that the database will have with the Ghana Revenue Authority, so that before your goods can be cleared, there should be the evidence of local marine insurance certificates to confirm that you have taken the local insurance, to make sure that this is monitored and make sure that there is more participation. Like rightly said, but the 6% imports into the country would come up, will be revised through sensitization, and then also telling them the kind of benefits that accrue when you have local insurance in the country.
All right, so you just mentioned the fact that one would have to showcase or show the local insurance certificate before the fellow can clear the goods from the port. And I was about coming to the issue of sanctions. Intransigent importers who do not buy insurance locally, what happens to them? Now that you are going to work with Section 37 of 724.
Yeah, it's quite simple. Like we rightly said, we have the database. And before you can clear your goods, you have to make sure that you have taken the marine insurance certificate to evidence that you've taken a local insurance. So before you can clear your goods, because of the collaboration that we have with Ghana Revenue Authority and Ghana Shippers Authority, there is this evidence that you need to show. So if you have not taken a local marine insurance, you'll be forced to take that. You can imagine the time, the amount of money that and the inconvenience that you have to go through if you've not taken the local marine insurance. So simply put, you'll be forced to take the local marine insurance before you'll be able to clear your goods from the port.
So in effect, it means it's becoming mandatory.
Yes.
When is this coming into force?
Oh, we are. It's far advanced. We've gone through the procurement process, and these will be done before the close of the year.
The year.
Yeah.
All right. So let me come to you, madam. I want to take a look at the newly developed marine cargo, insurance protocol and how it will impact. Have you done an assessment of how it's going to impact the local insurance market?
Okay, so your earlier question about how the industry is positioning itself to benefit from the
Absolutely,
huge,
yes.
I think it's not something we are going to do. We've always been positioned because marine insurance is actually the oldest form of insurance in the world, and it's the most developed form of insurance in the world. The marine.
How come that in our part of the world we seem so backward? We seem to
so it's the nyame beshe, nyame beye. You understand? Because even when you have labored and invested so much in your personal property, and you see sometimes even after you've seen a neighbor's building engulfed in fire, you still think that you have a special protection from God. So it's the nyamebeye sort of, you understand? But so we have always been positioned because it's been an area we've been working on. But we realized that over the period, the numbers have even dropped. And then the issues that came up from through the Shippers Authority. So we are indeed positioned. Now to get to your own question about
the
impacts it will have on the insurance industry. I will look at it from the perspective of the insured. It will give them total peace of mind. When you have taken a local insurance, you have value for money. You know the insurer. You may have, we have the intermediaries, brokers and agents. They are very well versed in the insurance market and things of insurance. You will have an agent or a broker, or you may have even approached the insurance company directly. You have access to advice. You are advised about the adequacy or otherwise of the cover. If you approach the company and you are bringing in back cereals, and you wanted, because of cost, you wanted a clause C, you will be advised that a clause C will not give you any benefits. So you could, and when you look at the rates, the premium variation is not much. So you can still be, you will be advised to, so you have access to professional service. You have value for money. Whatever premium you pay, you get value for it, and you get total peace of mind. So it's like buying your vehicle and insuring it on third party. Anytime you are on your way, you are very careful. Even when you are giving it to, say, hey, be careful, because you know that you don't have proper protection against the vehicle. But if you are properly insured, comprehensive, you know the way you drive your vehicle with all confidence. That is the way you carry out your business. So you don't worry about all those, and you can focus on your core activity. That is the benefits to the insured. Now, we are also looking at contribution to economy. Insurance is at the center of any economic activity. Imagine investing so much and not having any way of revamping recovering your loss. If something happens, you would not even be willing to invest. For you investing your own funds, and any other third party investing or providing funding for any business activity, for trading, the fact that there is insurance gives them that security that should the unforeseen events happen, they can still have access to their funds. So people are willing to release investable funds for investing activities. So you have access to funding. And that could also drive down the cost of funding for you, the importer, or for the business entity. Once that is done, it drives economic activity. So at the end of the day, economic activity, there's growth in economy, and you have stability in your in growth. So you don't have, if we get the insurance, marine cargo growing in a sustainable or in a consistently over a period, you realize that you are likely to have minimized effects of GDP and that's economic growth fluctuations. Because anything that happens, insurance is in there to ensure that there's business continuity. Then we are looking at employment.
Right.
Insurance is not just the insurance company. We have underwriters. We have loss adjusters, which are independent professional bodies. We have surveyors who are independent professional bodies. We have intermediaries, the brokers and the agents. They are independent professional bodies. So as the business of marine insurance and marine cargo booms, it expands those individual economies.
Right.
And then it creates job opportunities. So more hands are employed. Even new ancillary jobs are created. So the benefit is not to, it's to the three parties. And the parties are the insured, the insurance company and its ancillary professionals or bodies, and then the government or the states.
Right.
Insurance companies release funds. Whatever premium we collect, we keep them, we invest them. And that makes investable funds available to the banks to do those investing activities. Sometimes insurance companies invest in direct investment activities, and they all are part of the economic cycle, contributing in one way or the other to economic growth. So growing and revamping or growing the marine cargo insurance market is a good way of growing the economy of the country. It's a good way, it's a sure way of creating employment. Unemployment, if marine cargo is, the freight forwarders, there will be more work even within the ports. The freight forwarders will have more work. The clearing agents, stevedoring companies will not have idle machines sitting at their yards because they will be busy. You have clear. So it's the economic boom that follows a strong marine cargo insurance market cannot be understated.
Right. You mentioned the Nyamiwishe, and it's like, okay, so I'm an importer. I look at marine insurance, and I think that's quite expensive. And so I say, why not? Whatever should be, even though I pray that it arrives safely. Because some of them view it as a means of giving free money, so to speak, to insurance companies.
Okay, so insurance in itself is supposed to be susu, but it's not everybody who is supposed to benefit from that susu collection. So insurances, it started with ship owners. They realized that when they their vessel gets onto the sea and they are exposed to the perils of the sea or perils on the sea. Perils of the sea are the things that are the windstorms, those things. And then perils of the on the sea are fires that may occur.
In the vessel.
So they realize that, and when it happens, the value of a ship is so huge, it becomes very difficult. So they first started by coming together and everybody contributing something small, but in proportion to the risk, the risk they are bringing on board. Right. So that when the few, so there is a contribution of many, so that when the few suffer a loss, there will be enough in the kitty or in that fund to pay for the losses of those few. So that's how come you have your vehicle 100 million Ghana cedis, but your premium is just a few thousands of cedis. So we have the law of large numbers. We need the large numbers to be able to have an effective insurance. Because then if you don't have the large numbers, then everybody must contribute huge enough to be able to pay the losses of the few again, which will come up. So insurance is not for the benefit of everybody. And it's not like free money. There are insurance companies do make losses where all the premiums they would have collected from the 1,000 or 100,000 people contributing towards marine cargo insurance will be used to pay for just 2 losses, and they still have to go into their coffers to add up, top up. So it is not free money. It is an associate. We are saying that we are all coming together. will contribute small, but in proportion. If my risk is 100, I'll contribute 1 cedi. But if your risk is valued at 1,000, you contribute 10 cedis. Another person, so it's in proportion to the risks we are bringing on board. If any one of us should suffer, or a few of us should suffer, it is that contribution.
Yeah.
Yes. But when it started then, when the contribution was insufficient, they would go back and do further contribution. In this time, we don't ask for further contribution. Right. The only further contribution, if the book of that portfolio is very bad, then there will be adjustments in the small contribution that everybody. So it is not free money.
Right.
It is today your contribution today, which did not manifest in a claim, has been used to pay for the claim of another person. Yeah. Tomorrow, that person may not suffer a loss.
But
it is that person's contribution which will be used to pay yours.
Right. This is Metropolitan Television, and this is Ion Port, and tonight we are discussing insurance. That's a marine cargo insurance protocol. We have guests from the National Insurance Commission, and that's what we're doing. Remember, you can get interactive with us via WhatsApp line, which is 0559 019 177, 0559 019 177. We'll be glad to read your messages to the rest of the world. Remember, my guests in the studios are Madame Mercy Na Koshi Buampong. She is a member of the technical team on marine insurance, and we also have Mr. Charles Ansong Denchi, who is also a senior manager at the supervision division or department of the National Insurance Commission. We'll be back after this break.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water, or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
All right, so welcome back. This is Ion Port, and we zoom straight into our discussion once again. But remember, you can get interactive with us. We have some messages coming through already. The number to send us your WhatsApp message is 0559 019 177, and then we'll be glad to pick your messages and read them to the rest of the world. Along the line, we will activate the phone lines as well, so that you can get interactive with us by calling in to ask whatever questions are bothering you. But let me come to you at this juncture, Mr. Denchi, and find out from you, how dire is the situation? I just mentioned the figures we got from your outfit. 6% only does the local insurance as of now. 75% are quite ignorant about it. And last time when we came to the studios with the Serene Insurance officials, what they said was that they can underwrite about 500 marine insurance policies in a year, which is woefully inadequate. What are the figures, and how dire is the situation?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ken. Like I rightly said, the statistics that we have indicates that out of the 100%, it's about 6% insurances that are done by way of imports into the country. So one of the key things that we are doing, like we are doing today, through sensitization and to engage the major stakeholders and also let them know these benefits that we have outlined about marine insurance, and then the need to have a local insurance so as to improve upon the figures. One of the key things that we are doing is to let them know even the claim process. These will be published periodically so that they will know that when there is a claim, these are the steps that one needs to take to have a claim settled. And of course, insurance companies will settle genuine claims. And like rightly said, insurance strives on numbers. So it's a pool. So once the numbers goes up to improve the percentage of imports into the country, then insurance company will have that real capacity to also pay claims as well. So the figures, like you rightly said, is 6% of imports into the country. But through this sensitization, talking to these local insurers, having these insurance portal to have local insurance done. Other than that, your goods will be cleared. This will go a long way to help improve upon the numbers, and then make sure that they are also abreast with the claim process, and assure them that they are professionals in the insurance industry who can handle their risks. They have the capacity, they have the technical know-how to underwrite large, huge investments coming into the country. And by so doing, we know it will help to improve upon the numbers that we are looking at now.
Madam Buampon, let me come to you. In fact, some messages coming through. One person thinks that it's not right for you to force people to take insurance locally, because according to the person, you are offering a product, and I have the right to patronize you or not. Why would he force me to do that? And then he goes further to say that who has insurable interest? Is it the supplier who has supplied the goods? Because I am sitting here in Ghana and my supplier has supplied me, perhaps on credit. I have not paid for the goods. And maybe unless the goods gets into my warehouse and a few months later, when I raise the capital, then I settle the person, why would I have to pay for goods that I have not even paid for?
Okay, so thank you very much, Ken. The insurance law is to protect the insuring public. Is to regulate the activities of the insurance company in a way that protects the interest and, that protects the insuring public. So by introducing it into the law, it is to protect the insuring public. Because the issue was, people buy on cost insurance, and first of all, they think they have good insurance cover, but it is no cover. So a loss occurs. There are instances where your goods are not damaged. We call something general average. Something happens on board, whilst your goods are on board the ship, and they have to throw, maybe there's a fire or there's a risk of the ship sinking. and they throw certain goods overboard.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You
To
will
lighten the
discharge
vessel,
your goods in whole. There may have been a fire, and because in order to control the fire, they throw certain things they consider to be good fuel for the fire to spread. They throw them overboard. It is not your goods. But when the ship arrives, they require you to contribute to the loss. So they call it general average. Now, so a lot of the time, they demand either an insurance certificate, a general average certificate from your insurer, or you pay from your pocket. Importers have been incurring those costs. Right. But when they incur it from their pockets, they move on. Maybe it's added to the cost of the goods, so they are able to recoup it. But sometimes the stress of even presenting, going through before you make good your share of the general average, is when quantified, is far in excess of the premium.
Right.
Then we are also looking at the fact that even when you have been told that this is covered, the supplier, when it comes to suppliers have insurance, global insurance. They send goods to everywhere in the world. So they have their own local insurance, and they tell their local, can you extend cover, clause C, to all my, anywhere that I will supply goods. It might not be the full cover. So when there is a loss, their core activity is really not insurance. And it is not, the goods have left their jurisdiction. They even communicating with them and getting somebody there to follow up on your loss. Sometimes it takes forever, especially when they have not even, importers will share their experience where the goods were not dispatched.
Right.
And the trouble, it takes 3 months, 6 months, sometimes a year before you get the supplier to replace that item. If you had insurance and that aspect was added to your cover, you could claim, and then the insurance would then take it up with the insurance. So the law is not too much about the insurance company. It is protecting the insured. It is protecting the importer. That's why we are doing this engagement. We are trying to minimize the emphasis on the legality or otherwise of this marine cargo, but selling the benefits. Because this protocol was at the instance of even the Shippers Authority, based on the concern. The few I have been to Takoradi, I've been to Cape Coast, and the feedback you get is we didn't know.
The regional shipper
and
committees?
The shipping of
regional shipper committees.
Yes, the various shipping entities. I mean the members.
Yes.
And the feedback is that we didn't know. And some of them actually tell you about the experience. So we are trying to get people, educating people to not to think about the fact that it's a law benefiting insurance companies. Because eventually, the law of insurance is such that as the numbers increase, by way of the contribution to the pool, the losses, the payments from the pool also increases. So in actual fact, insurers may be recording profits now, but when the numbers increase, they may not be recording profits. But it's the common good. It is the continuity. It's the growth of the economy. There's the common good where the economy is expanded. And there's a lot more activity because there's vibrant activity going on at the ports because you are getting more goods coming in. When you ship, and even one person, you suffer a loss and you are not able to get cover, your business is gone. If somebody advances a form of loan or financing to you, you will have to repay, and you may have to disinvest in other properties in order to make up that financing. So we need to look at it from the perspective of the protection of the insured. We are saying that we know your concerns. Take the insurance locally and you have access. What is better than, you can imagine if you go to school, somebody who goes to school close by and somebody who travels a long distance, who gets the better benefits?
All right.
And even can look at the kind of covers that we are even talking about, where the shippers or those giving you the credits just buy insurance on Institute Clause C, which is inadequate. You could have a cover for, let's say, warehouse to warehouse, where it will even include a inland transit cover. These are the kind of benefits that we are talking of, and not just port to port or where the goods even never gets to you. So these are the extensive local covers that we are talking about. Like in just liken it to motor insurance, where you have comprehensive insurance and then third-party insurance. Here we are looking at a comprehensive insurance, an all-risk insurance, and that is what we are telling our importers where the benefit really lies for them to take a local insurance. And that is through sensitization. They will get to know the real covers that they are supposed to take to give them that peace of mind and security.
All right, so let's
you asked about if you are buying the goods on credit.
Yes.
As much as the include, a lot of the time is the invoice which really stipulate the terms of the sale.
The transaction, sure.
Yes, the sale. But normally we are looking at when it's cost and freight. A lot of the time, the issue is the liability still with the supplier? Is the supplier saying that I am still fully liable until the goods get to your warehouse? Yeah. And a lot of the time, they don't do to warehouse. They do to the port. Yeah. And to the port, they may not even add loading and offloading risk. So as much as and this is protection, you can't take chances. When the event has occurred and you realize that, oh yes, you bought the goods on credit, but you still have to be liable for the loss, make good the payments, then you have something to fall on.
Right.
So it is important that for me, if you have it, you have a certain investment, no matter what, because you will eventually pay for the goods. If you have insurance and there's an instance or an event, you immediately get it sorted out by your insurers.
Right.
And later your insurers can take up all other discussions with either the supplier or with whoever is deemed to have been responsible.
Right.
So even for supplies on credit, it is in the interest of the importer to take a local insurance policy.
So let's take a look at these messages quickly, and then we can activate the phone lines for some few minutes and get our viewers to call in. This one says, good evening and kudos to the educative program. This is Isaac Silfi watching you live from Tema 3. Good evening, Isaac. Questions are, 1, is marine insurance a risk? If yes, how do I build trust in a local insurance company in insuring my cargo? As you know, trust is now a scarce commodity in Ghana. 2, should there be a damage on my cargo I insured, how do I file my claim with respect to the marine insurance protocols? I guess you are taking them down so that we can, once I'm through, we can deal with them and then move on. This one is also from Ohima in Tema. She says, good evening, I import. Great show. Thank you very much, Ohima. More sensitization and engagement is critical. I'm wondering why export is not being mentioned, as it's even more feasible to enforce insurance policies for export than import in our case. Yeah. To add to what the panelists are saying, if you take your marine insurance locally, following up on claims is simple and easy. Again, you can appoint local surveyors to help you in your claim processes. With regards to the cargo insurance protocols, is it acceptable to have both local and foreign insurance for cargo? And she says again, hello, Ken. Could you find out from your panelists how the no local insurance, no clearance is going to be enforced? Are they going to force a trader whose goods have arrived to procure insurance against what risk? She asks. I think rather than strict enforcement, there should be enticement or such additional values like covers for the onward carriage at no extra costs and premiums and all that. I mean,
yeah. Okay, yeah, Ken. Thanks. I would like to talk briefly on the trust and the claim process that was raised. I know Mercy will look at the imports and exports.
Right. Okay.
Let me just say that the issues that we are talking about, local imports applies to exports as well. It's only that we're talking more on imports, but the same insurance process and covers and the benefits that we are talking of applies to exports as well.
Right.
On the issue about trust, like rightly said, the insurance companies really have the capacity, they have the technical know-how, they have the expertise. Again, remember there is a regulator where probably you have issues, and like I rightly said, we will do publications on claims processing and the like. There's a regulator. So where you have issues on genuine marine claims, you shouldn't have any issue of about informing the regulator to intervene on your issue. On claim process, it's rightly simple. Marine insurance is just like the general insurances. The processes are the same, but to give our customers a better coverage and benefits to marine insurance, we want to make the process very simple. It's like you have a claim, you notify your insurers, they respond, they have adjusters or surveyors to look into it, they look through the figures by way of adjustment. Right. They tell you that this is how much you are going to settle. Insurers said we are going to settle within these timelines, because on the claims guidelines, there are timelines within which you are supposed to settle a claim within a minimum possible time. So the processes are simple and straightforward. All that you need to have is the claims document. One of the key ones among them is the marine insurance cargo import or export certificates, which we are talking about, that you need to take this local insurance certificate, and in the event of a claim, this will be one of your trump cards. The invoices, the bill of lading, and the like forms part of the documentation. And once these are there as an evidence, the processing and settlement is as simple. And remember, the regulator is there to back you. The regulator is there because of the policyholder, and also to make sure that the insurance companies are very solvent and they are very liquid to pay claims as and when they arise. Because the essence of taking insurance is one day there will be a claim, and then the insurers should be able to be up on tax.
Okay. Before you take your bid, let me announce that the phone lines are activated and you can reach us via 020-552-8353. 020-552-8353. You can call in and then ask my guest a few questions. We have barely 15 minutes to wrap up on this show. So let me come to you. You would like to respond to some of the issues raised by
he did mention that.
WhatsApp,
Yes, thank you. He did mention that there was a question to the effect that we were not speaking about exports. And exports is as good. I mean, we don't really have the issues. The exporters are taking the local insurance.
Okay.
The exporters are taking the local
because
insurance.
They are liable because you are sending your goods out, and there's every need for you to protect them till they get to the final destination.
Except where there is a local regulatory requirement in the port of at the port of destination, which precludes any export from coming in as CIF. So there are other jurisdictions where it is not acceptable to bring in insurance with the import. So insurance for import, it becomes import there. It's exports here, but it becomes import at the port of destination, or the jurisdiction where the final destination of the goods. And for such, there are certain jurisdictions where the law, regulatory law, will not permit an importer to bring in goods on CIF basis. So with such exceptions, then the exporter will not be able to buy a local insurance. And that we acknowledge.
All right, I understand we have someone on the line. Good evening, and thank you very much for calling us. Hello? Hello, good evening. Okay, I think we have issues with the line. It's quite cranky. Good evening. Yes, your name and where you're calling from, please.
Sir.
Good evening, sir.
Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry you are not teaching. You are not teaching motor.
We are not what?
My name is Thomas. The line is not clear. Please.
Thomas from Kaswa, yes, we can hear you.
The line is not clear, please.
We can hear you.
My friend. Hello.
Thomas, we can hear you. We can hear you, sir. I think we're having issues with, and Thomas seems he was coming with some fire, but yes, you may continue, Madam.
So that's how come exports is not really highlighted, because the exporters are taking insurance,
Right.
and the exporters do engage the insurance company. We have the exporters of non-traditional food items, non-traditional goods.
Yeah.
Or engage in the insurance industry to have specifically designed insurance policy to cover their exports. So the various exporting groups have been engaged in the insurance industry to have insurance policies for them. So the yam people, we have policies that cover the exportation of yam into other jurisdictions. Insurance is there. So it is not, except where there is that law in that destination which precludes them from coming in with the insurance.
Right.
Now, there was also the question on whether you could have a local and foreign insurance. And like I said, if you brought in the goods on CIF basis, it's foreign insurance, but it's not adequate.
Right.
So it's important that you take your own local for the full value so that it becomes your first port of call when there is an event. So you make your claim, you do everything, and later if the supplier wants to, there's recovery or any other thing, the local insurer will then engage the overseas insurer on their aspects as well. So that is it. And then when it comes to claims, when there is a claim, just as in motor, when you get involved in an accident, you inform your insurer.
Yeah.
So your insurer will then guide you. If you bought the insurance through an intermediary, which is a broker or an agent, you call them. Or you walk to, now all the insurance companies are networked. So even though you may have bought your policy in Accra, even if you go to Tamale, the insurance company will have access, the branch in Tamale will have access to your full policy. So they will give you advice. You need to do ABC. When they give you almost all the document they think we consider to be relevant for the claim in question.
Right.
But you need not get all of them before you go back to them. As and when you get them, you go back to, you send it to them. Because it may even be that at a certain point, based on the document they have, they can proceed with your claim. In notifying the insurers when they are insuring, they haven't seen the goods. It is only the bill of lading that they are relying on.
Right.
But we have surveyors, international surveyors all over. If an exporter sends goods to Amsterdam and there was a loss when it arrives at Amsterdam, if they notify an insurance company, the company will call one of the internationals, and the surveyors will. The insurance company can send it to a surveyor in London, and the London surveyor will link them up to their surveyor in Amsterdam, and they will do a full survey, present the circumstances of the loss, the extent of damage, how much is damaged, what can be salvaged, how the damaged ones should be disposed of, without the insurance company moving an inch from where their office is to the other.
Right.
But once you've given them that information on time, immediately you become aware of an event giving rise to a loss. You notify your insurers. They know what to do. They would want to have evidence that indeed the goods which we never saw, indeed it is this quantity. It is the communication. Sometimes you say that, I've had a loss. I bought insurance from this so-and-so company. Then somebody who may not have had any interaction with an insurance company say, insurance company, where your munchiao. And sometimes, a lot of the time, that is what the difficulty is. And so you also start having a certain mindset. You are unwilling to delay in until finally, tell them when you present it to them, they will pay.
Right.
By that time, it's too late. or there has been a delay. When there has been a delay, it takes a lot more time to process. So I will use this medium to urge anybody, marine, whether it's marine or whichever claim, when you have an incident that you think you have a right of claim against on your policy, please immediately notify the insurer or your broker or your agent.
Yeah.
They know what to do. They will guide you. And they will guide you from every step of the way. The NIC also mandates insurers to guide, so the claims guideline provides a step-by-step guide with timelines as to what the obligations of the insurer is. If you are saying settlements will be 5 days after all documents, let the clients know what constitutes all documents.
Right.
And insurers are continually doing that. And it is through these medium or these platforms that we also use to educate and enlighten the insuring public, the shipping public about some of these things.
Okay. Was I told we have a caller on the line? Okay, I don't think so. So at this juncture, we'll go for our international news and we'll be back shortly.
3 years after the initial contract was signed, Dubai-based port developer DP World is finally ready to start the banana port development along the coastline of the Democratic Republic of Congo. After DP World was awarded a 30-year concession to develop and manage the $1 billion banana port in 2018, the project is now finally on the move, with an expected 2-year completion period. The announcement follows the agreement on amendments to the initial contract collected in a term sheet that was signed recently in Kinshasa. DP World said that the objective of the amendments was to readjust the different obligations of the two parties under the project. Mercy Ship's civilian hospital ship Global Mercy has completed deep water sea trials and is about to head to Belgium for equipping before it starts its mission in Africa in early 2022. The tests, which have lasted for several days, covered engine performance and fuel consumption, navigation and radio equipment, maneuverability and safety systems. The Lloyd's Register-class ship was constructed at the Tianjin Jinhan shipyard in northern China, with Stena Roro AB of Gothenburg, Sweden, providing the project management, and Delta Marine of Turku, Finland, designing the vessel. A French shipbroker, BRS Group, assisted in preparing the contract. Swiss container shipping giant Mediterranean Shipping Company has inked a deal to charter 11 dual-fuel new builds from Singapore's Eastern Pacific Shipping as part of its pursuit of green goals. The 15,300 TEU ships are powered with liquefied natural gas, which is, together with hydrogen, perceived by some as a bridging fuel to help the maritime industry reach the International Maritime Organization's decarbonization targets. Others, on the other hand, believe that LNG has a limited role to play in the sector's decarbonization.
All right, so that was the international news segment here on Iron Port. We'll just wrap up shortly, but let me take this message. It says, That's from Ohima again. She says that no local insurance for import hasn't affected customs duty in any way so far, because customs duty has always been on CIF, even when the trader declares an FOB. Customs valuation always compute their own insurance for imports, and this is stated in the Customs Act 891. I still don't think it's prudent to impose this on anyone. And this one says, good evening, sir. Can the panel highlight on the compulsory aspect of the marine insurance? And someone asked same, but I think she still highlighted on the benefits to the importer. The question is there a law which mandates an importer to take marine insurance as they plan to make it compulsory? Well, I think these have been answered already. So this is how we will draw the curtain on Iron Port here tonight. Remember, I've been in the studios with Madame Mercy Na Koshibwampong. She is a member of the Technical Committee on Marine Insurance, and also had Mr. Charles Ansong Denchi, who is the Senior Manager at the Supervision Division of the National Insurance Commission in the studios. We are grateful to you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming and for shedding more light on this particular topic. Remember, the abridged version of Iron Port will be aired on Ghana Television at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Make a date and watch. We will see you again next week. My name is Kennedy Mona. Have a super evening.